Hello, it's Simon Zutshi here. Now, this might be a bit controversial, but in this video, I'm going to talk about why you should not invest in property hotspots. Why am I saying this? Well, I get asked all the time, Simon, where's the best place to invest? Where's the next property hotspot? And I think there's a real problem with just trying to invest in property hotspots. I'll explain why in this video. The first thing is, I never like to say a particular place is a good place or not, because if I did that in a video, it might be hot at that particular time, but if someone watched that video 6 or 12 months later, it may no longer be such a hot spot. And the reason somewhere is a property hotspot is because lots of people are piling in and there's not enough supply for the demand. So property prices go up and also rents go up. But there's a problem. You see, if everybody is talking about a place as the new hotspot, in reality, you're probably too late. Really, you want to find an area before everyone thinks it's the hotspot. Invest then, you're going to get the best capital growth. Now, the reason people like to invest in property hotspots is because they think they can buy something now, and because prices go up much quicker than normal, it means that they'll have some really good capital growth, and they could potentially sell that property. Now, that, I agree, is a potential profitable strategy. However, it goes against one of my golden rules, which is golden rule number 4, is when I buy property, I like to buy for the long term. Now, there's another problem related to buying in hotspots, and that's because very often, particularly if you're an overseas destination, I'm in Dubai right now, which is a massive hotspot right now. The problem is a lot of the investments people make are off-plan property investments. What that means is you buy a property before it's actually finished. Sometimes they haven't even dug the foundations in the ground, and you have to put down a deposit. You then often put down more money throughout the build phase, which might be 2, 3, even 4 years away from now. What this means is all this time during the development, you're not getting any return on that investment. Now, you might say, well, if I get really good capital growth over the time, it's worth it. And certainly in a booming market, you can put down money on a property, and there's a chance that by the time you complete, if the market's gone up in value, that is a more valuable property investment. However, there are a few challenges with this that I'd like to explain. First one is, when you buy off-plan property, even if you're buying at a discount, you're probably buying at a premium price. And what you need to remember is in 3-4 years' time, when that development finishes, all of those properties come online. And there might be lots of other people who are trying to rent those properties out, or people who want to sell them on at a profit. And if everyone's trying to sell or rent, it means there's going to be an oversupply, and so you might not achieve the full price you expect. A friend of mine recently sold a property here in Dubai in a lovely location in the marina. I've stayed there many times myself. And the problem is he bought this property 7 years ago. Now, the property market here has probably doubled, if not tripled, in that time frame. But when he came to sell his property 7 years later, he actually could only sell it for the price he bought it for. Why? Because his was a 7-year-old property and there's now a lot more brand new property available. Most people want to buy a brand new property if they have a choice. So although he sold the property for the same amount, because of currency fluctuations, when he's brought the money back to the UK, he's actually had more UK pounds. So this can be a benefit of investing overseas, but it might work against you. You might make a profit on a property overseas, bring the money back to the UK, and if the pound has weakened, it means actually you'll get less money and maybe you wipe out all of that profit. So you have to be very, very careful when investing off plan, and particularly when investing overseas. Now let's come back to this idea of supply and demand. Let's talk a little bit about hotspots. So when we think about supply and demand, the principle we learn from macroeconomics is when there's more demand than there is supply, prices go up. And when there's more supply than demand, prices come down. So a hotspot is where there's a lot more demand than there is supply. That means the value of properties go up and also rental incomes go up as well. However, it's really important when we look at supply and demand, not just to look at the supply and demand right now, but also look at those going to be in the future. So for example, we come to Dubai. Every time I come to Dubai, I'm always amazed at the amount of property that's being developed. And you kind of wonder, is there really enough demand to meet all of this supply in the future? Whilst money keeps on piling into the region, is there really going to be enough demand? Now, obviously, we saw this back in 2007, 2008, when you had the global financial crisis. Property prices around the world had shot up, and actually they didn't really stack up as investments. And when the global market crashed and people realized they didn't really get a good enough rental income from these properties, that's when the problems really started for many, many people all around the world. I stayed on this particular beach in Dubai was about 12 years ago, and I remember it really well because I went water skiing, and I can tell you for a fact when I did it that time, all of those properties over there were not even here. That's thousands and thousands of properties developed in the last 12 years, and that's just one tiny part of the market. This is why you need to be very careful of not just the current supply and demand, but also the future supply and demand. So as you can see, the idea of investing in a hotspot might be very attractive, but you need to be very careful. I would suggest that if you find a really good investment property that makes you money today and you know you can easily rent it out, then buy that property and hold it for the long term. Holding for the long term is how you create generational wealth, because as well as getting the monthly rental profit, you benefit from the long-term capital growth. One of the problems in hotspots like Dubai, although the values have gone up massively and also rents have gone up as well, is you need to think about affordability. It's now very difficult for people to afford to buy properties here, and also it's very difficult for people to rent properties here because all the values have gone up so much. So you got to think about, okay, it's great when values go up, but who is actually going to be the market to buy these properties? Now, a lot of money has come into Dubai from Ukraine, a lot of money has come from Russia, and people park money in a country, and you'll notice when you come to somewhere like Dubai, there are many apartments that are what we call dark lights. At night, the lights are off, there's no one living there, and people have literally been parking money in property, in real estate, because they know it's a very good money to leave their money. They feel it's relatively safe. However, whenever we have a booming market, a property hotspot, sometimes we have also a declining market afterwards. I remember this back in 2008 was the first time I actually came to Dubai, and I was amazed. I thought it was a brilliant place. By the way, my wife and I come here on a regular basis, usually at least once a year, because it's a great place to come on holiday. However, I remember back then thinking how advanced it was, how amazing, but every time I come back there's more and more development happening here in Dubai. Now, it was interesting, at that time, obviously there'd been a massive boom around the world from about 2002 up to 2007, just before the financial crisis. And a lot of people all around the world were buying off-plan property, and I did the same. I didn't buy in Dubai, but I had property in Spain, and also I decided to invest in Morocco. Morocco was tipped to be the new hotspot to invest. The reason was I was investing in Spain, which was fantastic, very popular, but south of Spain, on the other side of the Mediterranean, was Morocco. Now, the property there was about a third of the investment it was in Spain, so you can get a lot more property for your money. Also, some of the budget airlines like Ryanair and EasyJet were starting to fly into the local airports, and also it was a degree warmer than it was in Spain. And finally, in Morocco, they speak French, which I speak. My Spanish is not very good, my French is pretty good. So it seemed like a great place for me to buy in Morocco. I bought, and lots of other people bought there as well. However, when the global financial crisis came, the local banks said, actually, we're not lending to them unless they live in Morocco. So in other words, for international investors, it meant they couldn't get finance. What that meant was most of the people who bought these properties, not just in Morocco but around the world, suddenly were no longer able to complete the properties. So all of the development companies just stopped building the properties, and most of them actually went bust. So I've got a half-finished property in Morocco that will probably never be finished, and I put about £50,000 deposit into that, which I'll probably never ever get back. Now, because I have quite a large portfolio, I don't like losing money, but I can probably weather that £50,000 loss. But what if it was someone's life savings? So they put their life savings into a property, trying to invest in the new latest hotspot, trying to make money easy. Well, unfortunately, when you make money, it's not easy. You do need to put some time and effort in. You need to know what you're doing, and when you know what you're doing, you absolutely can make really good money from property. Most people who put money into get-rich-quick schemes end up losing their money because they really don't know what they're doing, and also there are lots of scams out there as well. So my recommendation is stop looking for the latest hotspot to invest in, because it's probably too late at that point. What I recommend you do is start looking where you live. Where you live is probably a good area. Certainly if you're in the UK, there's a really good rental demand in most areas. Educate yourself, make sure you know what is a great investment. If it makes you money, if you know you can rent it out easy and you're planning to hold long term, which are 3 of the golden rules of investing from my book Property Magic, there's a pretty good chance you're going to want to hold that property. So I do hope this property education video has been useful. I'd love to hear in the comments below, what do you think about property hotspots? Have you invested there before? Have you lost money? Have you made money? I'll be really interested to hear. And if you like this video, please like the video, also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to make sure you get notified anytime we bring out a new video. And if you really want to build your local knowledge and expertise, why not attend your local property investor network meeting? We have meetings all over the UK. We have 2 in those, and we have one here in Dubai, which is actually why I'm here, to attend our local Dubai network meeting. I'm also running some training here because we have a lot of clients here who want to invest in the UK because they recognize the UK is such a great place to invest. So as ever, I encourage you to invest with knowledge, invest with skill, and enjoy the next video. Hello, it's Simon Zutshi here. I do hope you just enjoyed that YouTube video. And you know what? If you really want to move forward in your property investing, it's much easier to do it with the help of other people. And one of the best things you can do is go to your local property investor network meeting where you can meet other like-minded people. You can learn some of the very best strategies and really get a motivational positive boost every single month about what you could achieve from your property investing. Now, there are 50 plus meetings around the UK. We've got meetings in the Netherlands, we've got them in the UAE as well, and growing around Europe. So all you have to do is click on the link below this video, go to pinmeeting.co.uk. All the meetings are listed there. Click on the one that's closest to you. See when the date and time is. And if you want to attend that meeting, you can just buy a ticket. Or if you want to come as my guest to your very first PIN meeting, just use the voucher code, which is the word YouTube, because obviously you've watched the YouTube video. So just go to pinmeeting.co.uk, pick your location, scroll down where it says payment options, click on pay with a voucher code, fill in the details, use the word YouTube, and it will bypass the payment page and you can come to your very first PIN meeting for free. If you haven't been yet, I highly recommend you come along and see exactly what you've been missing out on. You're going to wish you would have gone years ago. It's going to help you move forward massively with your property investing. So if you enjoy these videos, I highly recommend you go and check out the PIN meeting. Click on the link below in the description. Invest with knowledge, invest with skill, and enjoy the next video.